Hey guys, this is Dr. Sandy with another exciting video for you and your family and friends. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 tips for busy professionals so you can stay healthy and strong. If you're watching for the first time, welcome. If you've been watching for some time, welcome back. And I'm going to jump into it. So I feel the longer I practice that, I think with technology and just the times we live in, we are just getting busier and busier and busier, and especially with professionals. I see a lot of professionals who are, looking to get healthy, looking to get stronger, but I just feel like they're short on time. So sometimes we'll talk about like stretching and doing certain things, and I know they kind of look at me and they're like, I hear what you're saying and it makes sense, but I really don't have the time. So what I want to do in this video is just show you simple little things you can do throughout the day that really add up to a big difference if you do it over time, consistently. And why is your health important? So I hope we can all agree on this, but I really believe, especially as you get older, that you need to focus on your health. Your health, you really have to see it as a foundation for everything. Your career success, the success you have with your family, your friends, having the ability to enjoy your weekends, playing sports, whatever that looks like, it all starts with health. And I think a lot of us were like, yeah, okay, that makes sense in theory and stuff, but we're not giving it the time, the energy it needs. And I think sometimes focusing on our health can actually feel like a hassle. It can feel like an inconvenience. It's too much effort. But we got to look at the flip side. Let's be truthful here. If you make time and energy for your health, you will be healthier. You will be more productive. And if you don't make time for your health, it will catch up to you in some way. It might be pain, discomfort, your quality of life getting affected, maybe feeling tired, not producing at the same level. So if we really want to be the best versions of ourselves, we really need to make time for our health. It doesn't have to be really complicated. It doesn't have to be hours and hours, but there has to be a daily input into the body to keep it healthy. And where I'm coming from is that if we have that, I want you to work as long as you choose. I want you to, even if you retire, spend quality time. And even at the end of the day, forget about other people. You want to be happy for yourself. When you are in pain, when you are suffering, it's hard to just be happy. It's hard to be positive. It's hard to be in a good mood. So really it starts with being healthy for you, like a healthy selfishness, I would call it that. Being healthy for yourself, because then when you are healthy for yourself, you can be better at work, you can be better with your family and friends, and everything just falls into place. But we have to focus on our health. Let's realize we live in busy times. So let's go over some simple things we can do that if someone's really busy and wants to get healthy, what are things they can do? Simple things we can implement. So, number one, I would start the day, and as we go through this, you're going for progress, not perfection. And what that means, and I would also say, like, don't go like it has to be perfect, it has to be done this way. Something is better than nothing. And if you're taking notes by any chance, write that down. Something is better than nothing. I think sometimes we're so caught up that, did I do this the right way? Was this the exact way to do something? You know what? Just try your best, and something is better than nothing. So let's say I show my patients some stretches, and if they get too caught up into the technique and then they're like, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. I have no time, no nothing. I don't think that's valuable versus someone who's like, look, I'm not sure about the technique. I'm going to do my best. I may ask Dr. Sandy on my next visit. But I know if I can even do 10% of the stretches, 20% of the stretches, that's better than doing nothing. And I would say yes. Something is always better than nothing. So as we dive into this, think about how you'll customize for yourself, what works. And what I do hope over time, like I'm going to show you some shortcuts, some easy things you can implement, but I hope you get to a point where you can create more time for your health. But in the interim, let's work with what we got. So number one, I would say when you start your day, starting it with prayer, the meditation, maybe listening to something that motivates you, reading something that motivates you. And this may literally be a 1-minute prayer, 1-minute meditation. It might be reading a quote that just motivates you, but I think that really sets the tone for the day. Of course, if you have time for 20, 30 minutes or an hour to pray, meditate, and do these kind of things, of course you should do that, but some people don't even have the time. But what I would tell you, even those few minutes is valuable. It sets the tone for the day. So go for it. Just have something that you look at, you listen to, that just it lifts your spirits. You just feel like it's going to be a great day, like you can do anything. Start your day with something like that. Obviously going with that as well, is number 2, some physical form of movement, some stretching, some exercise. Now, there might be days where you work from home and you have more time, or maybe there's days where you're short on time, whatever it is, but having some kind of movement in the morning, maybe it's going for a walk. I would advise some kind of stretching, even a few of them. If you have the time, doing a full-on exercise routine for an hour is great. But again, some kind of body movement, even if it's a few minutes in the morning. And what I would say, if time is really tight, try to do stretches throughout the body, but focus on a zone that is troublesome for you. So if you're really short on time and let's say your body feels pretty good, but you always have neck problems, focus on those stretches. So literally, the head going back, side to side, some rotation, that will give input to the body. And then what you want to do is that when you go to work, which leads me to number 3, is your goal is about every half an hour, every 60 minutes, taking some kind of stretch break, nutrition break, something where you kind of recharge or kind of give the body some energy. I think that's very powerful. And, depending on some research you read, they'll talk about these different times where you can actually focus on something. But, sometimes I talk to patients, they're like, well, I can't even do that. It's probably going to be 2-3 hours before I take a break. You can literally do some stretches in your chair to give some relief. You can drink that water at your desk, which is obviously going to be helpful. Some healthy snacks, maybe some cut veggies, some cut fruit, something like that. So look at these little breaks as little pit stops where you're getting energy back into the body so you can produce. I think sometimes we get so focused on work, we're just go, go, go. We don't eat, we don't take care of ourselves because we're like going, going, going. You'll run out of gas. If you look at a car, even an electric car at some point needs to get charged, or cell phones needs charged, gas needs car. You can't just go, go, go. You can sustain it for a little bit, but long term it just leads to health issues. So we don't want to have that obviously happening. Now, coming back to work as well, some other tips I want to give you is look at your work environment. Is your chair comfortable? Do you need some back support? Do you need to get some chair? And I've been looking around at chair prices, and I'm happy to say they are becoming more affordable. But if you go to like Amazon, if you go to Staples, if you go to, I think Best Buy would have it as well. You may even want to get a gaming chair, and you might be like, well, I don't really play video games, but some of them are comfortable. See what works for you. And then even now with desks that are like standing desks that go up and down, I'm a huge fan of that. I think the less you sit throughout the day, the better. So look at getting some standing desks. I believe they are getting more affordable as well, but just look at things you can do to make your environment better. And then another thing I've kind of seen as well is that you might have a great workstation on your actual work site, but at home you're kind of on a sofa, you're in the kitchen, it's just not a proper setup environment. So make sure that if your work environment needs to be better, get that chair, get that standing desk, whatever it looks like. Make sure your home environment where you do your work, if you work even part of the time or all the time, it's proper. Make that investment, properly set something up. You'll enjoy it, the lighting, the desk and everything. You'll feel more productive. Your back should feel good. Don't just sit on a sofa, obviously, if you're sitting for long periods of time doing important work. So just look into things you can do to improve that as well. You may want to also look at possibly, depending on your work environment or if you have a business, one thing I get concerned with, I see these people carry these backpacks, or ladies are carrying these heavy bags with their laptops, and that is very hard on the body, very hard on the posture and spine. So maybe you have a computer at work, you have one at home. I don't know how that looks, maybe a desktop, like laptop or something like that. If you're the kind of person, well, I'm only allowed one laptop and that has my life on it, what I would really suggest is, you've probably seen this in the airport, but they have those luggages with wheels. And some of my patients are like, hey, great, it makes sense. Some of my patients are like, that kind of looks odd, Dr. Sandy. Doesn't matter. I just want you to protect your spine and your nervous system. It controls your body. It controls your quality of life. We want to protect that system. But look at something that's comfortable. Look at multiple computers, multiple laptops, and if you can't, maybe having that bag with the wheels, so that's easier on your spine and your nerve system, and obviously your posture as well. So the other thing I would say is, now let's say you're doing your work, please do take a lunch break, and I'm going to go back even earlier. When you start your day and you're about to start your work day, please have breakfast, please have lunch, please have dinner. Whatever is according to your liking, what works for you. I know right now there's a big push for intermittent fasting, and I'm going to say as my disclaimer, I mean, if you're so happy, if you're feeling energetic, and if it works for you and you're doing like one meal a day, okay, I'm not going to say anything. If you're happy, your doctor's happy, your blood levels are good. I mean, there's no one who can argue with that, but I'm just more of the camp. I guess I'm going to share what works for me. I believe in small portions throughout the day, high quality as best you can. But I believe that the body should be nourished throughout the day for highest performance. That's what I believe. So what that means is that having a good breakfast, and here's another issue. Some people love their breakfast. Some people are like, I just don't feel like eating too much in the morning. Even have a smoothie or something just to kind of start the day, please. And then for lunch, you should have a lunch. So lunch means a lot of things. It's not just a time to eat. It's a time to take a break physically, mentally. It's a time to kind of recharge. So you're going to obviously, please, I hope you're eating something. You're not just grinding throughout the day and not eating lunch, but you eat something, something obviously nourishing, and it just recharges you. And it's maybe a time like what I like to do. I like to call my wife at lunch, just touch base. It's a few minutes. It's not long usually. Just, hey, how you doing? But it recharges me. Obviously eating something. And then the other thing I do as well, and sometimes if it's really busy, I don't have time, but even 15-20 minutes or a little portion, I do like to take a nap in the middle of the day. For me, that's like my caffeine boost. And as you know, if you've been watching my videos, I don't drink coffee or tea. I don't touch alcohol since this year. I'm in 2024. One time I had I think a kombucha drink that I found out later did have some caffeine, but mine is that. No alcohol, no caffeine this year. And when I take my nap, my afternoon naps, it feels like a big boost of caffeine for me. It's caffeine free, obviously. I'm not ingesting caffeine, but wow, like I'm ready for that second half of the day. I feel great. If I don't get that afternoon nap, I can kind of push through the day, but it doesn't feel like, I got 100% of that juice. But I love taking afternoon naps. So see what works for you. I've talked to some people like, I take a nap, it throws me off. Okay, obviously don't do it. Customize for yourself, but look at lunch as a recharge time. Maybe you want to eat something and you're like, I find when I take my lunch and I go for a quick walk, it re-energizes me. So see what things kind of give you energy. Is it a nap? Is it reading a book? Do you want to meditate for a few minutes at lunch? Call someone. See what works for you to give you that boost of energy. So lunch is actually a very critical part of the time of the day. I would also say another thing I would suggest as well is that let's say you have finished your workday and you're done. If you were that person who said, I don't have time in the morning for any exercise or stretching, what you can do is after work and before bed, you can now stretch or exercise. And here's another thing. Let's say you're on your work site and you're done and you work in this massive office. Before you go to your car, maybe 5-10 minutes, just add a walk. Maybe if you work on the 5th floor or the 4th floor, take the stairs down. Park your car a little further. So there's all these things we can do that we're incorporating exercise. Maybe you're done for the workday and you have an office. Do some stretching just before you leave, because maybe when you get home, things are just like you get home, you have to prep dinner and take care of the kids or whatever. So just find ways that you can still incorporate exercise because you've been too busy, but maybe do it at the end of your day. It becomes kind of a reward. So that would be something to look into. And then even if you take the train while you're seated, I mean, I hope you don't feel too embarrassed doing this, but I don't think it's that embarrassing. But, just doing some gentle stretches while you're in the train, meditating, praying in the train, using that time to maybe call someone, a family member, and just, it's refreshing, it's energizing, it's a very powerful time you can use. Another tip I do for myself as well is I drive to work, and that drive to work I really enjoy because I will listen to something motivational, something positive, and I would encourage that. Maybe there's a podcast you'd like to listen to or something like that, but you want to use increments of time where you're just getting things done and just getting recharged, refreshed, recharged, refreshed, so you can perform obviously at the highest levels. And then I would also say that after work, obviously you're going to eat and do stuff. Try to connect with your family. And again, I have to confess, I do get home a bit later, but a little bit of the time we try to talk, we try to connect as a family, how things are going. And I'll share another thing I do as well. Actually, this was inspired by Dan Martell. He's a very smart man. So one thing is that once a week we try our best on Sundays. We just sit down as a family. We're eating food and having dinner usually, and we'll share, hey, like, what are your wins of the week? What are some goals you have? Is there any way that you can support, like we can support you? Any challenges you're going through. So it's just a really cool time to connect with everyone, because even living in the same house, unless you sit down and talk about certain things can get missed or lost, and it's just a great way to connect. So we just share wins, challenges, things we're grateful for. There could be someone saying, hey, I noticed the kitchen's kind of getting dirty, I need a little help, or whatever it looks like. But it's just a great way to connect and say, hey, I'm here for you. I want to win, but I want you to win as well. What can I do to help you? So that's another thing we do in our family. So I threw a bunch of tips in there. I think it's more than 5 tips, but I hope you found that valuable. We're all busy, and as always, I'm here for you. Our team's here for you. If you're looking to get a better quality of life, visit our website, gopowerflow.com. Tons of information. If you're looking to get healthier and stronger, you can call our office. We're at 905-896-3393. Even if you have some questions, we're here for you. We're here to serve. We want to make sure you have a great life, that your family has a great life through natural health and healing through chiropractic. And I just hope you loved the video. If you got something from this video, please like, share, subscribe, and God bless you.